And then Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta, 12 minutes 25 seconds. Wheeler Yuta came out with the ROH Pure Championship over his shoulder. Moxley does a wild thing entrance. Catches a dive immediately from Wheeler Yuta, and it's fucking on from there. Like, this is a main event style match. This is a meeting of equals at this point. These guys whooped each other. Yuta bled buckets. Crowd went fucking insane for him. This was a high level match. This was just like full of just like, I felt like the screen, like, I don't know, man. This was like, it pulls you in.
Yeah, this match is great, and like with the curb stomp deal on the steel steps, the blood, the way he had the crimson mask, like he's bleeding all over the mat on the outside on the floor. The dive through the table, the ring announcer table, the scorekeeper's table, whatever you want to call it, off the top rope. A lot of like what I would like to call like Walterism, where like Walter will just like beat the shit out of you, and like you kick, and then like he immediately goes to everybody. There's a lot of Japanese wrestlers that do this, where it's like hit you with a move, you kick. All right, fuck this. I'm not even gonna try and get you up to hit you with another move where you basically escape. I'm just going to slap you with a choke. But and then making the ropes and then escaping out, and like it was just a great match. It was a great like 13-14 minute match. The blood added to the match. This is one of the matches where like I will give them credit for saying that the blood added to it and the amount of blood added to it. And like, you know, he kicks out of one paradigm shift, and that got a big pop. And then, like, you know, it continued through, and it looks like this match is definitely won. And then he does the slow, weak kick out. The crowd lost his shit for that. I yelled out, "Holy shit!" or "Oh shit!" And like that for me, I think that was kick out of the year so far for me. And then he slaps out, puts him in a sleeper, and then like obviously, early in the match, like he had got him in a sleeper or a bully choke, and like he teased if he's gonna tap. I was like, "Nah, don't tap, don't do that." I was like, pass out. I was like, you know, the be a man memes. I was like, pass out, like pass out and almost die. Be a man. Yes. Be like Tam Nakano. Don't tap out. Stupid. So anyway, once he passed out, I was like, job done. He did everything he needed to do. This was great. Moxley is one of Moxley's best matches I've ever saw, singles matches. We're just saying something because, like, you know, he's had a number of great singles matches, like since he went through the G1 and then through, you know, the stuff with Omega and, you know, other people like Danielson. So yeah, I super impressed by Wheeler Yuta. Like, showed all this heart, and then like at the end, like I love this, the post match. Like, after he kicked out of the second paradigm shift, Moxley does the WWE bugged out eyes. Like, I can't fucking believe someone kicked out, which was appropriate this time. He had fucking murdered this dude. So at the end of the match, Moxley goes to the corner in like disbelief, like I gotta get away from this fucking guy. And I can't. This motherfucker kept rising like Terminator, and in come Danielson, in come Regal, and like Danielson and Regal look like they wanted to give him some, and Wheeler Yuta's like, come on, I'll take more. I'll fight you. I'll fight every last one of y'all in here. I don't give a shit.
So he was on his Riley Cooper almost.
I was about to make a Riley Cooper joke. I left it alone. But yeah, you already peeped what I was going for. You know, the crowd is are chanting, shake his hand. They do the handshake. They're into it. I think they also shook. I think he also shook Danielson's hands. And then, like, at the end, you hear, you know, obviously it was a mic, but you can hear from the camera, you can hear Mike say, and now, like, the real work begins. And it's like.
And he put BCC on his chest in his own blood.
Yes, he did. I forgot about that part. Yeah, it was great.
It felt like I was watching, like, just this major story unfold here.
So I wanted to ask you this. I wanted to ask you this, Rich. Like, should we wait now, or should we already call the nomination? Creative success of the year, Blackpool Combat Club.
Oh, write it in blood, baby.
Yeah, I fucking love this. I did. I think y'all are tripping saying this is some like one of the 400 greatest matches in the history of pro wrestling. But or 370 or whatever else. But like this match was a masterclass, and they had been building towards this, and all the stuff we talked about earlier in the show with like him leaving to get to this point, and over like the last month. Yeah, him getting squashed and him
doing
fighting
a little better
in the tag match, and then the singles match with Danielson, and then this, and like, you know, the slap with Regal and all that stuff to build this, and then also what you know is ahead for like what's gonna happen with him and Trent, and how that shit's gonna break bad, and how, you know, they're gonna be thumping, and like, you know, Trent's gonna be so pissed at this point, and, you know, him and Chuck might end up fighting. Like this thing is gonna be, you know, obviously, you know, we'll see what happens with Orange casting his shoulder, but like this could be like the most important storyline like the best friends ever has in AEW.
Yeah,
and that's saying something, considering like, you know, they had the backlock brawl or whatever, that was huge, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think this thing has gone already started off with Regal and everything coming in like better than I thought it was ever going to show up, and like it's already one of the better things they've ever done in AEW, and that's high praise. Like I love this.
Yeah, this was this just like it takes you back to like just like what storytelling is and progression and new people
and making somebody
yeah, someone getting over, someone new getting over, like pushing the button on them in a couple weeks, coming up with a plan for them, putting them with stars who are giving, who understand what needed to be done to get them to be stars, and now they're doing that for other people, and it's inspiring watching things like this almost. So it's like I think it's phenomenal. Like it like when you know, when the Booker of the Year trophy goes out for the third consecutive time to the same person, we're gonna be looking back on shit like this.
Yeah, this is great. Like this is everything you want out of pro wrestling. Is like a young person comes in and get their ass whooped by stars, and eventually they earn respect and
in a defeat.
Yeah, Rich, we've watched a lot of Japanese pro wrestling. Like this is what like most of the undercard is. Established card, and it's a you know, a younger person / young lioness, whatever you want to call it, versus an established star, and this person is on top, beating the shit out of them until they fight, until the crowd literally is fighting for the person to get up and fight back, and then they fight back, and then they get put away eventually, and then you shake their hand at the end. And then you do that enough, and you get your ass whooped enough to where like eventually you start winning more, and you win more, and the crowd's behind you because they saw you get your ass whooped and saw you at the beginning. Like They've
done this in 3 months, James. They've done this in 3 months.
But I mean, obviously, you know, Yuta had been like, regardless of however whatever lack of charisma you may have thought he had before,
independence,
right? Regardless of whatever like lack of charisma you thought he may have had while watching him in AEW, he was always around, and he always had good matches, and he always showed good stuff. But it was like, what is your reason to actually care about him? Which is what I always hear about these fucking dorks that are like feel like they have to be tricked into liking wrestling. I don't know, whatever. But it's like this is the kind of stuff where it's like this is what gets people to invest in people. And like I still think he's winning as a promo. But it doesn't matter if he already has the storyline for him and he could bleed buckets, and he bled buckets to get himself over. The job is done now. He's a made man for now. Yep. Like as far as the killers and pillars thing, like it's coming. Like we got Hook off the ground already. We got Yuta off the ground. So what next? We Lee Moriarty and who else? Who's the fourth one? And Garcia's already made, like, so the only person we left is Moriarty.
Yep. Man,
that shit started as a joke. They actually did it, Rich.
I know. Yeah.
This shit started as a cute little meme. Like, so did the Pillars. The Pillars started as a cute little meme, and then it happened. Yep. And now the Killer started as a cute little meme, and now it's happening. Amazing.
Yep.
Incredible. What will be next?
Never know. But yeah, man, I guess there's only that's all we got on AEW these past 2 weeks. Phenomenal shows.